Hi, guys. I'm a little late today and I'm a little sad. Um, I just learned during the night that my good friend Skipper Doodle, who moved to the Philippines recently, passed away 2 days ago. I loved Skipper Doodle. He always wanted me to continue calling him Skipper Doodle. He didn't realize I'm the one that came up with that name, but we had two Skips in this area. So, hi, Beth. I'm sorry I'm late. Um, Skipper Doodle passed away 2 days ago in the Philippines. Um, and I'm a little sad. And hi, Iris. So I'm a little sad and a little. I don't know what I'm feeling today. So I'm sorry I'm a little late and everything. Um, and of course, I'm in contact with Skipper Doodle's sister in Texas. And so I'll be sending her that last box that was here at the property. And evidently, now I haven't talked to his sister on the phone. Hey, Mary. But his sister said that when he was on his trip, that she knew he was doing some paperwork to send back to the States. That's all the stuff he was doing for me. And we were texting, and then all of a sudden one day it was like he didn't answer my text. And that was evidently the day that he went into the hospital. And um, I'm not a pretty, I'm one of those ugly crier people. And it's funny, a coinky dink, which is my word for it's not a coincidence. But that on the 4th is when he passed. I was doing something. I remember coming in through the front door of the cabin and just having this little quiet, small back ear thought. It's odd that Skipper Doodle hasn't contacted me. I wonder if he passed. And then, like I said, in the night, I got the message from his sister. And so we've emailed a couple of times. I forgot to send her. Um, I will have to send her another email with my phone number in it. But I'm in contact with her to send that last box of his personal items to her. So, by the way, Catherine and Homer are living in their broken down RV. They seem to be doing well. I was able to talk to her. Oh, you know what, Beth? We are not on. How did I do that? Let me get in there and. Uh, okay. 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 You probably. Can you see that message? Okay. You can see it. All right. Great. So, now there is. Oh, I will, but how do I do it? I forgot how to do it. Uh, oh my goodness, the things I can pull up about you. Okay, that doesn't give me what I want. There you go. I found it. I'm going to give you a little extra. And I'm going to do that for Beth as well because Beth has been wonderful. So Beth let me get back in and wait a minute, how did I do it? And change it a little bit. I forgot how to do it. How did I get in hers? I think I went this way. And we are probably good, but let me, poop head. Nope. Oh, here, it was this. I had to get in this, and then I had to go up there. Let's see, maybe I click on this. Oh, no. But does that let me put you in as the other? Add as this. Hang on, Beth, I'm trying to fix you. There you go. There you go. Okay, so both Beth and Mary, you now have a different kind of moderator status. Thank you so much because you guys were already trying. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, both of you. Hi, Kate. I'm later. I'm sad. I didn't do my hair. I haven't brushed my teeth. Yeah, I put on... But aside from that, I don't know. If you guys have something specific you want me to talk about, please tell me. Because I'm more than willing to just go ahead and talk your subjects and kind of get my mind cleared out. I was smart. I kind of woke up slow. I had leftover coffee from yesterday, so I had cold coffee first. Then I made a fresh pot of hot coffee. I just finished my cup of that. And I made a small piece, like a third of my steak for the day. Even though I didn't really want to eat, I decided it was better to just kind of do that. I also am kind of going through my personal stuff because when somebody close to you passes, it's what I think of. I kind of think other people probably do that. Wow, it says there's 30 people on here. Wow, that's wonderful. Guys, if you want to hear something special, please tell me what you'd like me to talk about. Please use the 3 uppercase Qs to cue me as things are scrolling by. I'll notice them better, okay? Hi, Donna K. Are you guys down in the winter spots? So in the process of going through my personal items because of this dear friend passing away, let me tell you, you guys knew because he was on my channel and I was on his channel when he was getting ready to move to the Philippines. Skipper Doodle asked me to go with him. And the only reason I didn't was because I had classes to teach. And then I felt like when the engine blew in the tracker, I felt like, oh crap, I could have gone with him. Why didn't I go? And by that time it was too late, right? And then he's over there how long, and he finds somebody to marry. And he evidently started getting sick mid-September, and he thought he was calling it Montezuma's revenge. And but he evidently went in the hospital sometime 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then it was October 4th when he passed. So, oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little warm down in the winter spots. So in my going through things, I have all these medical CDs, and we have access to the online stuff. And I'm kind of thinking about what would I want my children to want to go through if something happens to me, or when, right? Whenever that day comes. And so I'm going to throw these away. I've been holding them in my hand for about 45 minutes, kind of thinking, what could I make with CDs so I could recycle the materials, rather than just throw them away. But I can't think of anything to make with them. Um, I don't, yeah, I can't think of anything to make with them. So I don't know if you guys got any great ideas, but that's kind of, I'm kind of in this. When a close friend passes, I don't think I'm the only one in the world who then it kind of, has me thinking about my life and where am I going? And geez, I also have um, the Tennessee hurricane stuff not on my mind, but when I'm scrolling through something and I see those things, um, I thought about that, Beth, that maybe hanging them over the garden or something. Maybe I'll stick them in the garden and stuff, and I'll find a way to do something, or I'll go put them in the toolbox and just wait till later. Um, anyway, because I hiked through the mountains of Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina when I was hiking on the AT, some of those pictures I've seen are kind of, wow, man, I walked through there. Wow, and I'm not spending a lot of time on that. Miss Mary, I saw your comments, and I'm not staying in these places. I don't want you guys thinking that, but some of this it's the first time I've said it out loud, and so yeah. So I'm also, I haven't finished the stone floor. I need to just finish it. And I've been like starting to process, how do I maneuver switching from what I've done all summer, hot weather, to very soon it'll be cold weather. And so what needs to be in the house, in the cabin, and what needs to be outside the cabin, and how do I get that like straight again? And I was holding off until I finished the stone floor, but I'm just like, forget it. Let me just stop where I am. Not stop completely, but I mean, let me stop like stressing over the stone has to be finished first before I can do this other thing. Maybe my priority list needs to just change a little bit. And so, of course, this news can help jog me into, let's think about this differently. I also kind of looked at, yes, it's horrible what those people are going through. I totally agree. And I've seen some things in my lifetime. And I've been in a community when I lived um, in the mountains outside of Dominical, Costa Rica. I was on the bus to town for Gringo Market Day on a Thursday, which was common that you went on Thursdays, was Gringo's Day at the market. And well, that's what we called it. Anyways, and so I was on the bus, and when it was time to come home, there was a landslide on my ride home. And so the bus driver was like, everybody on the bus, sit on the back tire, on the back wheel wells. Get everybody cram into that area. I need the weight over those wheels to get us through this. The road is sliding out in front of us. And he kept going. And I just was like, okay, been through this in snow with my dad, and the 6 of us kids in a van, but it's a thing. So it's like, I do this. I pat my chest and I go, okay, deep breath, do what he says, Okay, and just trust that he can figure this out and get us through. He got us up the mountain, right over the landslide and behind, in front of us, kind of under the front tires. The landslide was taking the road out as the front tires were hitting, and the back end and the car behind us, a tree fell on top of the car. That was the end of those people. And he just kept going. And he was like, I'm only stopping when I can stop. You guys are walking the rest of the way. So I'm just saying, sometimes those memories, they don't come back and stay long, but they're good memories because they remind me, oh yeah, that was hard, but look, I managed to get through it. So did the people I was around. And if I'm supposed to, yeah. Uh, yes, Mary, ham radio's moving up in your priority list. I actually feel so blessed that I was gifted with did I tell you this? I'll show you. Let me reach over here. But I was gifted 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, with somebody's, they just replaced their Baofeng two-way radio. So now this radio is at my cabin right now. So I was told in order to actually transmit, I probably need to change this antenna, and that at some point I'll want to change the radio, because the reason he replaced it was this is not going to continue to be good for very long. But for now, I'm up on a hill, and well, you can hear if I turn it off and then I turn it back on. You can hear it actually works, and I can actually hear people talking on it. I do not have my proper, I think it's called the license still for this, so that I can speak on it. But if it's a true emergency, it doesn't matter if you have a license. It's okay to interrupt a radio signal and use. So this is now here. Yay. I have a way to get a hold of something if something happens. This is not the be all end all, but it's helpful. Now, to be honest with you, for years and years and years, I have had the Midland Base Camp radio set in my wish list. It might not be in the wish list right now, because it wasn't available for a while. And every once in a while, you can't get them for like months and months and months and maybe years. And then all of a sudden, there'll be a batch of them again. And I would love to have that base camp radio to live at the cabin 24/7. But if that never happens, it'll probably be that we replace this at some point with a better Baofeng. But I'm awfully glad I have this. Now, I'm pretty sure it's in my wish list for myself still. I think it's a Midland. But anyways, it's a CB radio. I still would like to have that. And it's a little one that's not much bigger than this that plugs into a 12-volt outlet. And the reason I wanted that was some for travel. Now, these radios do a lot. They have a lot of different settings and channels, and I forgot the right words for it and everything. But anyways, I do think it's a good idea. I mean, come on, the world's changed. So if you hear what, wait a minute, while we're talking, if you hear what sounds like a two-way radio, that's what you're hearing, because it sits in the corner and I just turn it off periodically to charge the battery. And then after the battery's charged, then I turn it back on and just let it be here, so I can hear things going on in the world around me. Yeah, guys, would you please give me thumbs up and likes and hearts and subscribe. Well, if you're not a subscriber, you can't be out here on the live today, because that's what I reset the settings. So you have to be one of my 7,100 subscribers to be able to be out here today. So, It's been payday. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what I want to think about. I've I don't know what I want to talk about. I really need to get my clothes and my natural fiber fabrics back on my body because I'm healing so much better, so much more, that I think that'll be another step healthier to do that. And especially since for a little while I decided to have some butter to get the butyrate in my system since I can have dairy again. And part of that is because the butyrate that's in butter is really good for hormones. And I know my hormones probably have been off for years and years, so it's okay with me that I'm trying to do that. Let's see, what else? I don't know. I feel like I'm just off. Um, and I don't feel bad or super sad or any of that stuff. It's just wow, right? Wow, North Carolina. Wow, my friend. Wow. Oh, Stan told me, I think it was Thursday. Wow, was it only Thursday? But I think it was Thursday I talked to Stan, text with Stan at the mechanic shop in St. John's. And he said that my tracker was going in the shop this week. So that's good news. Although that, of course, sets in motion another priority thing about, okay, now I got to come up with money to pay him. And originally we had said I'm going to have to sell the blue car in order to fix the white car, but I don't know which thing is going to come first. At what stage is he going to need money for? I'm just kind of, I don't know. I don't know where to go with my thoughts. I don't know where to go. So, but way cool. Um, and see, the last time I looked at the tracker a few weeks ago, I was starting to get really concerned because all the window seals are frayed and dried out so bad. I think the window seal, I need to check the price, but I think the window seal kit for the two door windows, the roll up ones, I think those kits are closer to $40 a piece. I need to find them, maybe put them in my wish list. Maybe one of you guys would help by helping me get a window kit and then another one, and I can do them a little at a time. But the windshield's the one I'm concerned about. And the glass guy was at Stan's shop in town, I don't know, a month ago or so, and I asked him about redoing the seal on the windshield, and he said, no, we have to redo the windshield. That we don't do seals anymore. You have to have a new windshield. Well, a new windshield for my tracker is $400 or $500. And I'm like, well, poop. Not sure. If you got any great ideas on how to do that differently so that the cost can be less, I'd love to hear your ideas. I would also love to, okay, so another thing that I found out in the last couple of weeks is that my butthead neighbor, no offense if anybody out here had known them, but me and the newer neighbors to me, in between my property, there was the neighbor who had been a nomad, who had been not nice to me, bought a 40 between me and the new neighbors that actually live right here. And so me and the newer neighbors were like, how come we haven't heard from this guy in a while? And okay, so couple weeks ago, like after Mary visited me, a couple weeks ago, I was just doing my periodic once every 6 months or so, I just double check my own tax records that are public. And I thought, well, let me just double check, make sure nothing's changed. And I noticed it said a permit thing. And I was like, I don't have any permits. And I click on it and I look, and it's really an awkward message. So I called the county and said, so what in the world? What is this on my tax record thing with the county? What's going on? And they were like, well, we're starting to fly drones. Well, we've been flying drones at 10,000 feet in the air. And we can see that your land's no longer raw land, and we want our taxes. So we've decided that what we can see as a building is being lived in and is not permitted. So technically, you need to get that straight. But the letters are going out this week to anybody we've noticed, and they're all going to get letters saying that we have changed your tax from this to this, and you can either agree or disagree. And I haven't seen the letter yet because I haven't gone to the post office in St. John's. I've been down there in, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. Anyway, so then I was like, well, okay, so what's that going to do, right? And so then the woman I was talking to kind of knows who I am because every year I stop in at the county offices and I say, hey, how you guys doing? And so we know each other by sight and are friendly-ish. And I just check in. Any rules changed? Am I still okay doing what I'm doing? And I thought it was okay. Well, a couple of the things, it just feels like they changed the meaning of it, or I misunderstood. I don't know the answer exactly. So I talked to the building guy. I don't know his name's Clint. I don't know his title. Anyway, but so I spoke with him and he said, so we can see that you have a small building. It looks like there's a front porch. We can see tire tracks. We can see that it's used. And so we think you're living there. And so we're going to call it a tiny house. But it's not permitted and you're wrong. And I went, yeah, it's not permitted. It's not big enough. It doesn't have power. It doesn't. He goes, you're wrong. And I went, okay, now what? And he goes, well, look, I'm going to work with you. I work with lots of people. And I do about 4 cases like this a month in our county. And he said, yeah, I remember you. Yeah, we've met in person. And I remember you've got a YouTube channel. I know that. And he goes, so what I would like for you to do first is I would like you to call a civil engineer. And you're going to have to pay for this. And I want you to have him out there to do an inspection for you. And based on what he finds, then we will start to make a plan for you that will transfer over when your son inherits your land. But we want to make a plan for what's happening on your property so that, and of course, then, my heart starts going, oh, not more stuff and more. Why rules? Why more stuff I gotta deal with? And yet, okay, God, it's okay. This is the talk I was having out loud when I get off the phone, because it's like, I'm nervous and a little anxious. I just want it over, right? But I want to know. I want to know the truth. I want to be trying to do the truth. I want to be as correct as I can be, but I don't want you to take it away from me. And I don't want you to make it so expensive for me Don't tell me that you got 2 months to put in a septic tank that costs $10,000 because I ain't got it like that. And he said, take a deep breath, Miss Lesa. It's not going to be quite like that. He said, but first step, you're going to have to pay the civil engineer. So then I took a deep breath. I went for a walk. And then I came back and I tried to call the civil engineer. Then I realized I had a digit wrong in his phone number, and I figured it out and finally got a hold of the civil engineer. And he says, well, an inspection for you based on how far away you are and from me and on the square footage of the buildings in question. He said it's going to cost $200 for me to come out. He says, I can't see this being a very difficult thing. And I said, well, can I ask you this? Because I'm paying you, you are working for me, not for the county, correct? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, so if you find something and I'm not ready for you to send the letter to the county, we can hold that off, correct? Yep. Yep, you can. I was like, oh, yay. Okay, good. Good. So evidently it's okay. Hey, Jeremy. So he's coming Thursday and I'm going to have to pay him $200. And I'm nervous about it, yes, but in a respectful, like, I know a better way of describing the feeling about him coming. The feeling is based off, I don't know what I don't know. And if I've done something incorrect, it's because I don't know. But I'm still scared because they have a lot of power over me. And I know that in a triggering sense from my past, and especially the past part of my life where I was accused often as a young child for having done things or said things that I didn't even know what I was being accused of. Like, this is news. I don't know what I don't know. How can I possibly have? I wasn't even here. What are you talking about? And then I would get hurt pretty badly behind that. And so that thing, that piece of my past, it's hard not to react with the same kind of scared, like, I don't know what I don't know. How bad is this going to hurt me? So that's the part that is like, in some circles, people call it mental illness. It's not mental illness. This is the part that affects the way I see a thing that's coming at me. And if I don't know something, and how can I possibly know something I don't know? But if I'm going to get punished for it before I get a chance to like learn or figure it out, it's a very scary kind of, I don't know. Am I explaining this good? But it just is like, it makes my my thought process kind of muddy. That might be a good way to say it. And so then, yes, Beth, then when I get in that muddy state, that's when I start hunting for, wait, stop, take a deep breath, get out whatever scribble book I'm working on, right? Journaling kind of thing. Or get out I finally got it working again, guys. Get out my little Bluetooth keyboard, get out an online journal. I have a journal page in my Google Docs, and start just typing up all the, what am I scared about? What can I control? What can I not? What are my questions? And then I usually can work out what my questions are enough to find my turtle steps because a baby step's too big. So then I go to turtle steps. Okay, today I can't learn any big thing today. So today I'm going to journal about it for 15 minutes straight. No other thoughts. And then that's enough for today. Deep breath. When my mind starts to drift over to that thought while I'm doing something else, I'm going to say, nope, tomorrow I'm going to have another 15 minutes on only that subject. And I'll go ahead and I'll type it out or I'll write it in my journal, right? So that I'm getting it out of my head. And I'll see if I have any new points to add to the priorities or questions for the turtle steps. That's how I work through those hard things. And so I've been doing that. Although getting this news last night about Skipperdoodle wasn't really a surprise because I'd had that thought on the 4th. And the 4th was what day? Friday? I think it was Friday. I don't have a calendar. Oh, wait. I'm saying I don't have a calendar in front of me. These little calendar books, I grab them from Dollar General. They're in the party stuff, decoration stuff, and sometimes they have little journal books and stuff in there too. But these are inexpensive and they're blank. Whoops. Wait. They're blank. Make your own pages, okay? And then lots of note pages in them. And so, yeah. So I scribble them up pretty good. And then when they're empty, they're empty. And I actually have a couple up on that bookshelf that's over the front window. And I just write on the front cover that this one was May 2024 to whenever I end it, right? Which right now, I don't have an end date on it, but that's what goes on the outside of it. And then I can kind of keep these, and that way if I wrote somebody's phone number in it, I can have it later. Oh, I was looking for the date. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. So the last communication I had with him that I answered, and I thought it was odd he hadn't answered me back, was actually the day he went in the hospital, and I wasn't aware. So that Skipperdoodle went to the hospital. And so today's the 6th. Yeah, so it was Friday. I had that little quiet, still, I was walking through the doorway, and it was like Skip might have passed. Or something of that nature. And then to find out that he passed, and he passed that day. And so whether that communication or whatever it was, whether that came through like in the moment he passed, it's possible. I mean, we know some, but whatever. So, yeah. So, yes, Jeremy, wow. Yes, the Appalachian Trail and mountain area in that Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. Wow, crazy. Yes, YouTube pictures, seen lots. And more, it's hurricane season. That one was early. More hurricanes getting ready to hit. And Florida got hit hard too, but not as hard as those other places. So there's more coming. And so more storms on top of. And don't forget, I'm not hearing about this yet, but I'm trying to limit my time that I spend listening to, reading, whatever is going on, because I don't want to get too focused on that. But I am going to use the fact that these things are starting to happen like that to kind of jump off on my, what am I preparing for? Because don't forget what's going to happen now. Not much. There's already people moving here from California. okay, from bigger cities and stuff, and they're not the smartest people in the, no offense, but they're not always off-grid tough people, okay? And they're used to somebody hurts you, you hurt them back. Or I don't have what I need, I'm just going to take. Nobody's sitting there to watch this. I'm just going to take it. Whatever. And so, and I don't mean this like everybody's that way. I just mean that this is human nature. And it's been going on for years and years. And that's why wars start and stuff happens. So, uh, not only are those people who thought they were safe in those areas, there's some of them that are going to come this way because there's less water. There's not many dams. There's no big rivers. They're going to be a little scared of what they've gone through. So there's going to be a bunch of them coming this way too. And they're going to look at places like Apache County, where the rules in the rural off-grid parts are a little more lax, or used to be, and they're going to start coming this way too. So we're going to have some of them to deal with as well. In fact, market day in this area, I was down visiting like I often do with friends and grabbing some eggs. And a person who had often been at RTRs, Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, in the Southwest, is hunting for property and stopped in with his big Class C and towing a trailer. And he's looking for a lot as close as he can get it to the pavement because of the axles on the vehicle he's got. And he's like, it's just a stopover spot, but I need a place where I can pull in, stay, be safe, and that I own it. And I'm like, yep, yep. And I mean, he told me where he's from, and he might be a friendly, neighborly kind of person, but there's going to be more of that too, because the nomads that have trained themselves recently, or that even people that I've helped, right, to teach them how to live in a vehicle, they're not going to have access to the same places as they used to. I mean, we're really getting separated by income, by ability to do things and have things, and we're being watched different than we were. So those people, some of those people, especially the nomad people, they're going to be coming out here trying to get cheap land and trying to like survive because they're getting kicked out of the national forest. They can't camp where they did. They don't know how to maneuver. But, oh, we heard there was cheap land, so we're going up there. And then there's going to be the problems that come with that as well. Now, I'm not trying to keep this all negative. I'm saying let's learn from what's right in front of us, or from our own life experiences. Like me, my life experiences. I rode that bus when we were driving over the landslide. Yeah, if you didn't hear that story, it's early in this live. You can go back and watch the replay later and catch that story. But I've been through that. I've been through, oh shit, the crocodile, the alligator has come out because the storm washed stuff down the river toward the ocean, and now the crocodiles and the alligators are in the, what do they call it? The murky water where the freshwater river meets the ocean water, that's salt water. In that area where the two waters mix, the crocodiles and the alligators were getting real happy with all that stuff that washed down. And I'm just going to say, don't forget, sharks, alligators, snakes, bears, wolves, because we've repopulated wolf. I'm not saying there's anything bad about it, but I'm saying it's a natural thing. Those birds of prey, the ravens, the turkey buzzards, in North Carolina. They're going to be circling. They're going to be getting their fill. They're going to be doing what needs to be done. The bugs are going to get bad. The mosquitoes are going to get bad. It's going to be possible that we'll start to have other illnesses that we haven't seen in a long time. Now, I've had malaria and dengue. Those are both things that are passed on by mosquitoes, but those things are possible. And some of the reports I show, I that didn't come out right. Some of the things I've watched or seen, they're saying the smell from the dead bodies. Well, it's not only human bodies, but it includes human bodies. So people are going to have things happen. Be scared. They're going to have traumas from what they've been through, because the average American hasn't lived a life like Miss Lesa has. The average American hasn't been through a traumatic or even a scary situation. Now, let's just say, a lot of them going through stuff now. And so there'll be a whole lot more people that understand trauma and careful and whatever, right? And don't forget that in that area of like Tennessee, North Carolina, it's starting to get cold. This just happened, and winter's coming, and they get snow. So there's going to be all that. Yes, Jeremy, that's true. Sharks won't stay in the fresh water for long, but the sharks will stay in the salt water and catch anything that I think it's crocodiles that are in freshwater. No, the other way around. Crocodiles are the saltwater ones, and alligators are the freshwater ones. And so they're going to be they're going to be eating the stuff that's carrion, the dead things. There's going to be dead animals. I mean, what did I say? I heard something the other day I was listening to while I was busy, where some lady was talking about, well, we think the neighbors got out of that house and spent a few nights up in the woods and protected themselves, but all their animals are gone. And we think all the animals are dead. There's lots of dead ones up there. And I was like, well, yeah, okay. So, even that's going to be a thing. So, so let's, as we hear stories like that, as we feel it, okay? Because I don't think any average human being can't feel, whether it's sadness or just something unsettling about things like this, whether it's that news or news that your good friend passed away, okay? And I think personally, I think the way to handle this is, let me start thinking about, do I have my house in order? Do I have my thoughts in order? Do I have my stuff together enough? Will I be a little bit more okay the next time a big thing happens near me? So that's why I was asking you guys about what do I do with these old medical CDs, right? And there's stories earlier in the video if you didn't see it. But anyways, I'm going through. They're no good to me for the medical stuff anymore, but let's recycle them and let's get rid of them, because I don't need to leave these for my children to deal with when I'm dead, okay? When it's my turn to go. I don't want to leave a bunch of stuff. I want my stuff cleaned up as best as I can. So was that Donna going? I'm seeing people waving and saying bye, Donna. Oh, time to go. Neighbor is dropping by. Have a good week. Yes, Donna K, love you. Have a good visit. So do I have those things in order? What's the real focus? Now, for me, being healthy is a big, big focus. Yes, having one of my vehicles, my white tracker. Jeremy, Stan told me, I think it was Thursday, we texted. Stan said that my tracker is going in the shop this week. I hope he means it. No, I think he means it. But anyway, so I need to have one good working vehicle. I need to continue to work on my health. How much of a blessing is it that some of my allergies were healed, even though I had that allergy emergency a month and a half ago. Um, uh, what we learned from that was that I was getting better. So what I'm doing is working. So let's continue. And as I start to, I mean, I've been kind of cleaning up around here and stuff. I'm going to send, soon, I will be sending Skipper Doodle's personal stuff to his sister in Texas. And, but because, the weather's starting to change here too, it's still a little early for us to have big snowstorms and stuff. But as I do this getting prepped for winter and whatever, organizing, making sure there's a little extra food here, not going crazy because, I trust that the great creator will provide me with what I need when I need it. And even if I don't recognize it, he'll help me to see it and understand it. And there are some natural things growing here, and there are things that are like, see, I believe I'm gonna be okay eventually, as long as I eat whatever is seasonal. And so there may be a season when me and my neighbors can get an elk and have a lot of meat, and we can salt cure it, dry it, make jerky, and do whatever we need. But then when the spring comes and the asparagus sprouts, that I tried that this year. I can eat the asparagus when it sprouts in its season that I grew here. So things of that nature that are more, it's very natural the way I have grown things here, very like hands off even. But that I need to continue that. And I need to make sure there's a few seeds here. There's a couple of plants I would like to get in the ground. I would like to have more herbs because the herbs are medicine. And and I need to get a couple of good sized buckets of salt. Partially because if any of my neighbors and I need to get an animal, then salt curing and smoking is the combination of smoking and salt curing is going to be the way to preserve that for any amount of time because of the heat in this area in the summer. And so in the summer, we might not have as much meat to eat, but that's okay. Um, and plenty of water comes out of the sky most of the time. So making sure now when my son comes to visit the next time, we've already talked about it. He's going to help me get all the gutters on the cabin. But of course, there I am with a cabin comment again. And all of the cabin comments for right now, everything's on hold until this coming Thursday when I find out what the county, when I find out what I need to do to make the county happy, to stay under, maybe not under the radar, but to stay as legal as I can, whatever. Yeah. QQQ what? I see Q's and then subject or question, please. So low humidity, drying heat. Yes. Yeah. So I already have skills for making salve, like for healing salve. But I also know what to just pull off a tree and just use. And because you don't always have to mix it to make it work. I have skills for doing a lot of things, like making vinegar, easy, or simple. Like cheese making, done it, simple. stuff of that nature. I can do dehydrating things in the air. Of course, Arizona is a blessing for that, but I've done it in other areas as well. So, what else? I don't know, quick, what else? But I need to practice candle making. I need to practice soap making with the things I already have. Y'all know I make tallow. Y'all know I cook with wood, so I have ash here. Ash makes lye, tallow makes oil. The combinations make soap. A different combination makes candles. And so I I need to practice those skills. I need to practice. What was the other thing? Oh, did I write it down? Oh, I need to practice how to use the parts of a cactus for food. I need to practice, and I wouldn't mind doing these as classes where I'm not afraid to practice and learn and teach you at the same time. And so we may go to that stage at some point, but I need to practice the candle making and the soap making because I haven't done much of that years ago, but I don't remember it, to be honest. Um, I need to get the mold that fits the candles, or make the mold that fits the candles for the Yuko candelier, because someday there won't be a factory. I'm not saying that's going to be here now and today, whatever, but those are a special size candle. I may as well make sure I've got I got to make sure I've got the right size mold so that the candles will fit those, because I love those while I've got them. Yes, pinon nuts. I have many pine trees, and there's piñons here all over. I did not gather them this year. I have a handful of them that I started to gather, and then I realized I couldn't put the energy into it. And boy, the birds were happy. But it's always a September thing. Um, and so, what was the other thing I needed to practice was, I forgot. But things of that nature are on my practice list, okay? I already cook on wood, so that's pretty simple. I thought of something I might be able to take to market to make like gas money or something. And that is, I go out every 2 days or so and I fill this little basket I have that's sort of like, probably was somebody's Easter basket, but I found it at a thrift store and it's beautiful and old and whatever. And it's just the right size for a few days, almost a week's worth of kindling to start my Kelly kettle for boiling water, or to start a fire, or to start charcoal or whatever. And so I go out and I pick these little short sticks up off the ground and make these little. And I was thinking, I could make bundles like this of kindling and sell them for a couple of bucks at the market. That's not a bad idea. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, so, what else? I real quick. I told you I feel like my thinking's just a little, huh? And I hadn't figured a word, and I'm just thinking, my thinking, it feels to me like I'm a little disorganized in my thoughts. And yet, as I say that, I'm not experiencing that it really is as I'm talking to you. But it's just, it was, quite not a shock, but a sad thing to hear of this good friend's passing. And so let's see what else. Last night, was just calling Wendy in. It was a little after dark. I was turning off the solar light that's on the back patio, and calling Wendy in for, okay, it's time to chill out. We stay in the house more now. We can run back out and go to the bathroom a couple of times, but right. And so I was turning that off and whatever and calling her in. And she came inside and she started sniffing the air. And I was like, windows were open. And she's starting to sniff the air. And I was like, what's going on? She looked at me. She looked at the front door. She went to the window. She sniffed again. And then she started barking. And she's standing at the front door. And I'm like, well, I'm not putting you out first. Hold on a minute. Let mama look. Right? So I go look out the door. There's this big black pit bull drinking water out of my little tiny pond. Right? So yeah, sometimes there's wild dogs out here. Sometimes they're not safe. So she didn't get to go out, but I lifted her up so she could see out the window. And then, I put her on the bed and told her to stay. And I went out the front door to chase him away. Now, it's fine. Get your drink and then go on. But go on and be gone. And so I chased him away. But he was a big dog and he could have hurt Wendy had he been that way. I don't know. No idea. But I just kind of, hopefully he's gone, but she's been a little anxious all night and all morning. So, not sure. So I have a little list in my current scribble book. These books, when I can find them for $1, I just pick one up. I was an artist when I was younger. I love the tactile feel of things on paper. And so sometimes it just feels good to just write it. So I have what do I have in here? I don't even remember right now. And then, the pages will start getting loose. Oh yeah, the notes about the county stuff. Some things I need to do. A little reminder of something I'm trying in the morning. By the way, I don't remember where I got this from, but I'm each morning lately, I've been writing or stating. Sometimes I'm just saying it out loud. 10 things I'm grateful for. Things like waking up, finding out that Skipper Doodle did pass, so I don't wonder, whatever, right? Send love to 3 people who bother me. The person I just went through the hard time with, the, ex-husband, the ex-boyfriend that kind of screwed me. Then be quiet for 5 minutes and then ask for guidance for the day. It's a pretty cool list. So I'm trying that for a little bit. I was trying the higher fat carnivore for 2 weeks. And so I'm doing this at the same time. And then I have a whole thing about my clothes and things I've been thinking about with that. And the fact that I do have a go bag. I wasn't calling it that, but I've always had a go bag, even when I'm living in vehicles. So, now I've got a little newer list because it's on my mind. That's about pantry foods and gardening seeds, stuff like that. I need to get some more stuff in the ground, but I could do some fall crop things here in Arizona, would probably be okay, but whatever, right? So, and then down at the bottom, I have another list of, I need to get a big amount of salt stashed somewhere and some encorn flour, but also the whole encorn grain so I can have the seed because I need to be growing that. And that's where I have the list of the candle molds and the, spend some more time making soap, right? And I need to get my smoke barrel. I have somebody's making me a smoker barrel, and I need to get that done. But I need to prioritize which thing do I spend the money on right now. And, root cellar kind of storage and stuff like that. And then I was starting to make a list of what are the kinds of things that I'm still trying to figure out how to store inside this space but store in a way that they're easily accessible for me or anybody else. Like, I need my sew-in kit where I can just go reach for it instead of opening a bag, digging around. That stuff's for the birds. And so there's supposed to be, or there's going to be, a shelf or basket. I think it's going to be a shelf above my minimalist closet. And that's where I want to put the sewing kit. And I have that little mini battery operated sewing machine. And I want to put that up there. I'll probably put it in a Ziploc bag. It's in a Ziploc bag now, but put it inside a Ziploc bag so it's not too dusty, so it'll work better. And then I need to make sure I have enough batteries for sometimes. I ought to get, note to self, I ought to get the rechargeable batteries for that have the USB-C outlet on the batteries themselves. Because yes, that little sewing machine works with the battery packs, but what if the battery packs aren't working? What if I want to use it in a location where, you get my drift. I want as many options as I can have in a good way. So I kind of want those things above that closet area. And then I've also been, okay, so now I'm going to talk about some women's clothes items. For any of you guys who don't want to hear this, close your ears for a few minutes. But like, I'm a girl. My girls are not the smallest girls in the world. Whatever. But underwear keeps your clothes, I'm going to talk about underwear. Underwear keeps your clothes cleaner for longer. So you can launder your clothes a little less often if you have decent underwear. Well, the fabrics that you want against your skin, the most healthy is like linen, which is, okay, fabrics have a frequency sort of like sound frequencies. The very highest frequencies of fabric is linen, made from 100% flax, okay? Flax linen, I've known this since I was, I don't even know how old, since I was in high school, maybe junior high. But linen is, I don't remember the right numbers. Let's say, for example, it's in the thousands on the frequency scale. Organic cotton and organic hemp are the next level down. They're in the maybe 700s. Plastic clothes, polyesters, man-made fibers that are basically plastic are down in the 20, 30, 50. Now, bamboo viscose is closer to in the hundreds, okay? So I sew. I spent a little time with a title as a fashion designer, okay? I know real well how to make my own patterns, how to fit things to people, how to make things, you know, with a seam here and a seam there, how to make things have a lift or a supportive or a whatever. So I've been racking my brain. At what stage do I make my own underwear again? Because I need a new bra. Can I say that? I can say that, right? I need new bras, okay? The ones I've had, they're probably 3 years old now. They're getting, you know, they're not horrible because they're sports bras, right? But it's like, I got to do something, and I want the healthier fiber against my body because I've been working on getting healthier so much. I know this will help even more. So I've looked around at commercial things I can buy. Okay. Organic cotton, linen, blah, 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 blah. Organic cotton and linen, they only make them in small sizes. So I finally find a merino wool. I think is it Bronlin underwear, bra and panties. Okay. Found them. They want $65 for a bra my size. And I'm like, $65 is a whole lot of getting something done here at home. $65. Do I do it? Or do I just start like I used to, scouring the thrift stores for more linen fabric? Like thrift stores will have old linen skirts in a weird color, or the style is strange, or old linen shirts, or really good organic cotton men's shirts, or whatever, right? Do I go back to scour in the thrift stores for the linen and the organic cotton and come back and start making my own again? Is it time for me to do that? Because I could spend $100 on a set of underwear. Is that right? 65 for the bra and 30 plus shipping. So 65, 75, 85, 95 and shipping. It's $100. Do I do that? Or do I just start scouring for the linen and get back here and start making my own again? I think I need to start making my own again. Because I just had the conversation with one other friend who calls me off and on during the week. And they were like, no, just buy it. And I was like, but if I just buy it, look at what happened last week. I had to do this other thing this past month that cost me the extra $60, and it made it so I needed to have help to buy my last week's worth of groceries. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just get that shelf up there. I have to move Skipperdoodle stuff in order to get to my sewing machine. And then I got to find out if it still works, which it should. I know how to make it run. And someday I'd love to have a treadle machine, but I just don't have one, right? And yet, I said that quick. Let me erase that last thought. That's rewind like old tapes. And let's start over with that comment. I used to think I wanted a treadle sewing machine. I don't need it. I taught myself how to use a needle and hand sew anything I want. And hand sewing, making your own thread, making your own needles out of bone is not a bad skill to have. And I've done a lot of all of that. So I don't have to. I can do the hand stitching. Plus, I got the time. So, I'm not seeing all the comments happening here, but I see something about Bernie. Yes, 5,000 hertz and Cotton Bee and 100. Thank you for having the numbers. Thread count. No, thread count and the frequency of the health of the fabrics is different. And I see that you said something like the copper wrapping. Yes, there's a copper wrapping thing. The reason our old water pipes were copper, was because it kept us healthier. It does a thing. And so I just recently gave away, well, I didn't give it away. I was going to give it away. And then the lady said, look, I know you've been having a hard time. She gave me some money for it. I had a copper water bottle. Okay. I couldn't stand the copper on copper sound of screwing the lid in. It drove me crazy. There's other ways to have copper to drink your water out of. A copper water pitcher or container will purify water well. Now, water like they're having in North Carolina, Tennessee, and serious problems like that, you're going to want to filter that through first some sand, some charcoal, some other stuff, because there will have been dead things in it. And so you're going to want to do a lot of filtering and then put it through copper. And you'll have a very, very healthy, mineral rich water that we're not getting from our water pipes anymore. So there is a reason to have some copper in near your water. So oh yes, and Mary, I'm seeing that. Yeah, winter's coming and this and the sewing. I would love to have a rocking chair. I love to sit in a rocking chair and move, wiggle, and knit. Okay, and sew. No big deal. And I like to do the hand spinning, drop spindle spinning. It's not like machine spinning. It's not like super, it has more character, has more slubs in it, because there's spots where your fingers just, but to me, any of those chunky things are very natural and whatever. And plus you get, if it's wool, you get the lanolin on your hands and your hands will get real soft. So anyway, so all those things, love those things, have done it many times before, would love to be able to get back to some of that. Okay, let me, so I have it in my own to buy list on Amazon, a copper water pitcher, or see the water pitcher, you know what I mean, like you pour out of, right? The water pitcher is less expensive and you could get it for closer to $35 or $40 with a couple of copper cups for drinking water out of. And it could just sit on the counter somewhere. And so that's probably the cheapest way to go at it. And then there's another like container with a stand and a couple of cups. But I think that's closer to $79. That they're both in my buy these soon lists. Well, and I want to do it before we aren't able to get things that come from other places. So I'm hoping at some point I can get some of these things. And so let's see. So somebody already gave me some knitting needles. I really, it's what? $7 to get a set of bamboo knitting needles. I want a set of them. And I need the double-endeds because one of my favorite things to knit is the cuff part of mittens. I taught myself how to do mittens and of socks. And so I taught myself how to make socks and how to do mittens. I never did gloves because of the fingers were so small. I don't know about that. But anyway, so yeah, I want to get back to some of that, but being able to sit in a rocking chair to do it, but I don't want to like take all my space inside for when company comes with a rock. I don't know. I got to prioritize just like everybody else. So, but for next spring, I want to be able to put some encorn grain in. Yeah, that's going to call all the animals that are grain eaters are going to want to eat the grain as soon as it gets ready. So I'm going to have to protect it from the deer, the antelope, the wild donkeys, the wild horses, the elk. I'm going to have to, but I want to grow that next year. So, So that's some of these things are on my mind because I need to like get organized in here where it works better for what I'm like being put through to do and being encouraged to do. And eventually I want to have I need to have some herbs growing. So like the chives and the rosemary again. I lost my rosemary plant, whatever. And, but I can get those growing again. It's just let me get it set up where it's not, I gotta do 3 steps to do the one thing. Now let's make it so it's like, let's not move this much more. I'm getting tired of moving shit around. So stuff rather. So I don't know. I'm making sense. So I'm probably going to, now that I've talked that out loud with you all, I'm probably going to start going to the thrift store and hunting for the linen and not spending the $100 on wool underwear, but getting busy and starting to make my own. Well, I didn't even think of this. I can buy organic cotton yarn thread. I could knit them. There'll be a little trial and error to get the right size for myself, but I can do that. Maybe that's a really good idea. Maybe that's a note to self. See, I'm just thinking it out loud with y'all. So note to self. Because, in the old days, that's what they did. And I think I can pick up organic cotton thread. It wouldn't be yarn as small as it is. Well, it would be more like, not embroidery floss. What's the other word I want? Crochet cotton. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're on to something. Maybe that's what I'm going to start working on so that I can save that $100 I would have spent. Now, Jer, I just see your comment sewing machine. I haven't read what's above it yet, but I own a very tiny, because I was using it on the road when I was traveling. I have a very tiny battery operated sewing machine. Which it runs either on batteries or on electric power, and I can run it off my battery packs. And even though some people would say it's a toy, it's not a toy. If you know how to make one of those machines work, it makes it simple. But no, I did not learn how to make thread in Costa Rica. I learned how to make thread when I was young. My mother used to take us to old historic, what they now call living history museums. And I was more interested in different things than my siblings were. And so she would leave me in the buildings with these people who were baking in the kitchen or making something on a weaving loom or something, or spinning. And she would take the other kids and go off to the barnyard animals or whatever it was. And I learned a lot from those people in those living history museums. And then as I moved away from home, I was still interested in these things, and I played with it and practiced on my own. So now the indigenous tribe, they were called, the Baruka, indigenous people that I lived with in the town of Reykure. They were known for their weaving and stuff. And so I even did a little more with them, but I learned very young. So um, I have crocheted plenty. I don't like to crochet, I like to knit. There's a different look aesthetically to things that are knit than crocheted. And I like the difference. I like the knitting more. And I was always really, really interested in the older couple that lived across the street from us when I was a child. The wife was from Sweden, and I didn't really know that, and I didn't really know. I thought she was family, and she wasn't. And she used to dig out all her dowry things and show me the handmade lace from her relatives and things. And I loved that stuff. And so I learned a lot from her as well, or from them as well. So yeah, I have. What was the old machine to spin? Yeah, spin and wheel. Yes, spin and wheel. Um, I know how to use a spinning wheel. I just don't like it the same as a drop spindle. But I think it's because I like things that are way more natural. Like I don't I don't want the machine made whatever it is. But sometimes I can't afford financially the whatever. So I'm trying to step away from the idea of what I think I can afford and go back to wait. I'm the one who needs it the more natural. So another thing I really spin a wheel. I never heard the Jenny one. But another thing I want to get away from, and it's possible here, okay? Because our ground is sand and clay, and there's clay deposits all over and everything. I want to make real pottery that you run the risk of it being ruined when you're making it, okay? But I want to make, I want the next batch of coffee cups not to be coming off a machine. I want them to be little things that I've made from the ground right here. Wow. I haven't told people this stuff. Well, I do. I've thought about it a lot. But living on the road, this was like, yeah, someday I'll get to that. And now I'm just kind of, well, I can't go too far. So um, the drop spindle feels weird. Okay. Maybe you haven't found your fiber yet, because to me, the drop spindle, it's all about, when I learned, they told me to stick it on my leg or put it between my knees. And then when I was comfortable with whatever was I was starting, then just spread your knees a little bit so it hangs more. But that way you have a little more control when you're starting. But if you don't have the right fiber for you, it'll feel funny. And so, like, I have this friend that has this Great Pyrenees dog. That dog leaves seeds of fur everywhere he goes. And I say seeds, clumps of fur everywhere he goes. And, in Sweden, Norway, maybe more in Norway, they take their dog's fur and spin it into a yarn and then make sweaters out of it. So, oh, you've got llama and wool. Okay. But, maybe you like the feeling of flax more than you like the feeling of wool or silk, or, there's lots of things, right? Right, right. So I'm just saying, maybe you just haven't found your feel yet. Or maybe you should start with cotton. I don't know the answer, but I'm saying I would bet you a nickel it's more about the feel, or maybe your drop spindle itself could, for you, me knowing you, maybe it's not quite, maybe it's too machine made. Maybe you need one that's made out of a different feel of wood and that the weight of it might be bothering you. That could be a point, I think, too. But I bet you it's the feeling of what you're doing, because it's all about feel when you're spinning. When you're spinning, it's all about feel. And so if it doesn't feel good to you, why are you going to do it? There comes a point. I mean, and when you get really close to the animals themselves, it's even better. It's like, as you're doing it, you're thinking about the sheep that it came off of. It's a little, you have such connection to it. And it's like you're going, thanks God. I didn't have to kill this animal to get this. And how cool is this? And, I can imagine this will be a pretty blanket for somebody, or I can imagine I'm going to have a nice bra when I get this done. You kind of get what I'm saying. I can imagine those things, but, whew. And, I don't want to be the one to make sets of dishes for everybody in my neighborhood. That's not me at all. But geez, how cool would it be to come here, and when you get a cup of coffee, you get it out of a cup that you helped make or that you made. How cool is that? I like that idea. How cool is it that when you how cool is it when you get to wear something you actually made? I mean, I know how cool it is because I used to do it a lot more, but I haven't done it in a while. So, and a good way to get good quality linen, like flax, 100% flax linen. And it's not the cheapest thing in the whole world, but buying king size bed sheets when you can find them, even if you got to buy the ones that are in the thrift store. Okay. But like the other day, I was in a thrift store. Wow. The day that I got the allergy shots before I ended up in the hospital, I went across the street into a thrift store. And I was just trying to make my brain work again. But while I was there, they had Ralph Lauren organic cotton king size sheets. Now, they weren't perfect. They'd had some wear on them. But you know what? That's an awful lot of fabric. And had I been thinking about this like I am today, back then, if I'd have been thinking about it, I should have bought one, right? Yeah. Ooh, good for you, Beth. Yeah, and of course, spinning on a spinning wheel makes more thread, so you can make more fabric, or yarn or whatever you're doing. But anyways, yeah. And I think I just like doing smaller batches and being more in touch with what's going on, I like that. Oh, did I tell you guys the only little like vegetable compost bucket I've had this year is in the corner of my asparagus bed. And it used to be my worm bucket. And so I don't know whether there probably still are some worms in there, but the ants have been horrible this year. But anyways, I opened that up the other day to put something in it, coffee grounds, I don't remember. And oh my gosh, I think it's a spaghetti squash plant growing inside there. I can't believe it's got, well, it's probably just got what it needs. It's warm enough and everything else, but so I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna, let's see, what else do I need to make sure is here? Oh yeah, I want to make sure I have a bunch of cayenne here in storage too, or cayenne, and that maybe next year I'll try to grow some hot pepper plants because it's pest control and all kinds of things. And I've been experimenting. I think I'm going to be okay with cayenne. Oh, but one of the experiments I did recently, garlic is nasty. Now, I know garlic's a medicine, okay? But, oh, it was horrible. I was like, oh, I don't like this at all. Make that go away. So, so I'm not putting a lot of time and energy into garlic today. Of course, for years I love chives, and I used to have chives and garlic chives growing here, but you know, I was gone, and the rabbits and the rats, whatever. So, all right, let's see. So, what else? I don't know what else is going on. Did you guys have more questions? I'm going to go back and check for cues and see if there's some subject I didn't talk about. Y'all been busy talking? Yeah, I did have. Hey, I was smart. I did have all messages set, but that's because I came in kind of weird. Um, yeah. While I'm checking for the cues for subjects or questions, would you guys add more, please? Do you have more questions, more subjects, more? I don't know. But like I said, this is all of my important papers and everything in my life. I have downsized it to this size and my online files that I need to go through and delete a bunch of stuff. But anyways, yeah, would you guys come up with some more things and we'll talk for a few more minutes because I'm not ready to go yet. Whoops. And 20 of you here, 17, whatever. Okay. Oh, Mary, I just saw your comment about grief being like the tide. It ebbs and flows. Yes, it does. And I'm not staying in grief. I'm actually very happy that whatever happened, he was 70, I think. And he never thought he'd live to be this old because both his uncles and his father died young. And so I know he had always said that whenever it was time, he was ready, but he just wanted to live the best he could the most of his life. And the fact that he got married when he moved over there, he never had wanted to marry anybody. He was so proud of being a confirmed bachelor. So he must have been happy, and that's a good thing. And yeah, I loved him. And yeah, I would have married him if and but it must not have been meant to be, you know. But we were really good friends, and so yeah. Anyways, so I think about it with a smile, and I'm glad that he doesn't have to go through any weirdness anymore. So cool. Um, all right, let's see. I saw the one about the CDs in the garden. Beth lived in North Carolina for a while. Yeah, there you go. Um, Donna K. Used black mastic on the windshield of a school bus. Got it sealed again without big expense. I wonder, I'll have to look into that. Um, and I bet Jeremy knows a little bit or knows somebody that knows. Um, oh, and you know who else knows is we have a guy who loves gardening, okay? His family used to run a glass business in St. John's, and he doesn't do that anymore. They still own the building. I can't remember that guy's name, but I wonder if he'd help teach me how to do the seal. There's a thought on that, on the windshield of the tracker. Okay. Yes, Beth, I want it all legal. Okay. I see the comment Mary made about way to eat that elephant one bite at a time, Lisa. That's making me chuckle. Yeah, yeah. Turtle steps, turtle steps, turtle steps, turtle steps. Just deep breath. Okay. Yeah. I'm reading a comment Bernie put out about not focused, but always aware. Yeah, that's it. There's a lot of times, and maybe I don't always know the term, so that's good. There's a lot of times that I'm just being aware of things. Doesn't mean I'm staying there. It's just, yo, that thought went through because I'm aware, blah, blah, blah. Right? I'm aware there was a big dog out here the other day, and I've known of people in this area having trouble with packs of wild dogs. This dog doesn't look wild at all, but he was definitely thirsty because he was slurping up that water pretty fast. So I need to make sure I'm checking before I'm letting Wendy outside the yard fence, which I let her do every day. But I need to check, make sure it's safe before I let her out too. And it's all good. It's all good. But anyways, and that's not what this was behind. But okay, let's see. There's G. Hey G, I'm glad you're here. Cleaning house and listening. Okay. Delta. Oh, I see what you're talking about. That's way back. Okay. Okay, that was one. What's her? Okay. I know G wants me to keep the blue car for a backup, but I don't see how I can do that and have enough money. It's it's not only about the money. There's also the rodent factor. So if I let one vehicle sit, the pack rats might get to it. And so I can manage one vehicle, but it's hard for me to manage two. And when I take the tracker off storage insurance, I don't know that I can afford the insurance on two. So that'll be a thing. Lesa, can you read my comments? Do a teaching live or a pay-per-view video class? Yes, gotcha. G, gotcha. It's possible. Let me get my head wrapped around the next few steps because I'm also trying to think ahead toward January to be prepped for that so that I don't have to worry about stuff right here or my vehicles. So that when January comes, I can kick off stuff like that and just be doing it. That's and it's sometimes it's hard because how do I which thing do I do well, it's not about which thing to do first, but yeah. I always pick up notebooks too. I judge pens by how many reams I can write with. There you go. I love my USB batteries. Yeah, I used to have some, but I probably, knowing me, I probably loaned some to somebody and then left them with them or gave them away or I don't know because they were whatever. Okay. So then I was talking about fabrics, because here's all the fabric things. And yeah, and I really have to be careful that I'm being aware of my actual income. I need money for the cars right now. And so putting $100 into underwear just is like, ah, how the heck? So probably better to just go find some used linen shirts or something and at the thrift store, or skirts or pants, and just cut them up and start making what I need. What did I make with garlic? Ah, yeah, what did I make with garlic? It was in a spice mix. Of course, I'm trying to try things that are not mixes. Miss Wendy, you coming to join us this morning? So I'm trying to try spices. Do you want to come up? Come on, jump. Whoa, good girl. Here, is your face clean? Let's look at everybody. Say hi, everybody. Hi, I've been outside. I've been doing my thing. Just hanging in the sunshine with my kitty friends. With Karma and Chaos. Chaos and Karma. Anyway, yeah, you my big girl. So, what was the thing? What did I make? Garlic. So, I have a really, really clean spice mix I found on Amazon. It was like $6. And it was basically salt, cayenne pepper, and garlic. And it might have had onion, I don't know. But I used a pinch on a steak just to see what would happen, thinking a flavor might be nice. And I just went, oh, the aftertaste of what? You want something? You want a treat? The treats are outside. You, don't touch the phone, right? The treats are outside, and Mama's doing the video talking to people. Can you wait a little bit? You can't wait? Hang on, guys. Let me go get Wendy a treat real quick. What do we have for a treat? We have I don't know how many chicken sweet potatoes there are. Let's see. Oh, there's only two. But you like these a lot, a lot, a lot. Hang on. Mommy's still on the video, so Mama can't stay out here, okay? Come on, let's go inside. You can have it in here, okay? So here's your chicken wrapped sweet potato treat. Have you guys seen these? Yeah. Here you go. Oh, sit. Here, take it. No, I didn't mean to hold it. Here. It was a mistake. Here, you could. Oh, butthead. Okay. All right, she's got her treat. You know, the dogs come first. The children come first. Okay, so let's see. So that's what I made with the garlic, and it was just like, I didn't put too much. I was so gentle with it. But that taste of garlic, I was like, oh, it's the garlic taste? That's weird. Have you thought about taking apart an old bra and go to the thrift? Yes, absolutely. Yep. But like I know how to even do it without using an old bra. Yes. Um, yeah. So I'm cool with that. Let's see. Sometimes having a multiple vehicle coverage is cheaper than single. Jer, I'm wondering if I go to the farmers in town, if I can get a cheaper rate. Back when I tried it the first time, because I've been with Geico for years, but the first time I tried going to farmers, he was like, I'm $50 more a year than what you're paying Geico, stay where you are. So I didn't switch. So I wonder. Wendy's a great dog. So she's looking up. Let's see if I can I do this and get away with it? Can you guys see her down there? Oh, there you go. You get a little very crooked little picture. Let's see. Can I expand it? She's having I can expand it, but then the angle's wrong. Okay, there you go. She's having her chewy treat. I found that rug at a thrift store and paid like $1 for it on a senior day. And she's gotten like, she's twice as big as when I first got her. And she outgrew all the dog beds I had for her. So, we're not spending a lot of money on dog beds anymore, but that rug works perfectly. I need to wash it again. Okay, let's put this back to normal and then lift you back up here. So that rug works great. It's soft. She loves it. It's chunky. But anyways, whatever. Yeah, so that's where we're at with everything. Any more questions, comments, anything? By the way, I'm looking in the phone picture right now, not just focusing on the camera. And I see those shelves that I put up back here, right here. Okay, and these two little jars I found have, the lady didn't tell me until this week, they used to be candles, but they were clean and I washed them. And so one of them has coffee grounds so I can make a quick cup of coffee in here. And the other one's empty, but I thought since it was kind of brown looking, it could be coffee, and the kind of green looking one could end up with some tea in it of some kind. Anyway, but I'm seeing that shelf and I'm thinking, I think I'll take that off of there and I'll use that shelf on my closet. And then I can put that, I think that shelf's wide enough for that little mini sewing machine thing I have. And then I can finish organizing that stuff that's bugging me right now. And because I also had seen I've been hunting for a couple of things. And so I finally found a completely black metal shelf that I could put right here. And it comes 48 inches long. So it's the perfect size. And so I think I'd rather have the all metal shelf up there instead of the wood. Just cause. Part of it's design wise, but just cause. And then you remember I was telling you guys about, I was thinking about putting a hanging lucite shelf over that window that doesn't open. Well, I got looking at it and measuring it the other day. It was near payday, and I was thinking, well, do I order it? How expensive was it? Is that really what I want? Let me look at it again. Is this the month or not the month to do that? And I realized it's going to stick out too far, and I won't like it. So I was like, okay, so can that idea. It's a good idea, but just I'm going to can that idea because it will stick out too many inches into the room. And so then, can I show you this? So then I was thinking about the whole portable desk thing, right? And I was like, well, the one I'm looking at, okay, how do I do this and not screw up the connection? Guys, thank you so much for all the thumbs up, as well as all of you being around while I'm on here today. I really appreciate that support. Let's see if I tip this way, and then to use my hands. You guys get to see more of me than I want. I'm plugged in too. And so you see this. I can't see what I'm showing you. Yeah, you see this little desk thing. This is this is one of those full, and it's probably got a plastic support in the bottom to make it stick. So it's not, I don't know what to say. It's not whatever. But the other plan desk that I was looking at that's made for construction companies is very similar. It might be a little more sturdy. I don't know the answer. But really, the only difference is they have a nice metal D-ring right on the corner here and here as well. And then they hang them from the D-rings off of whatever, the roof rack on a vehicle or whatever. And of course, I want to stand near this window that I'm showing you. Whoops, finger the wrong way. Go that way. Or near that window, which is the one that doesn't open. And so I think I'm just going to modify this because this size is fine for me. I like this size scribble book. My little Bluetooth keyboard is folded up, but it fits right here just fine. My phone can fit on it. It has a stand, right? So, and I don't own a computer anymore because I traded my computer for auto repairs. So I think if I do that, then I can just make a way to hook it off either one of those windows, and then I can use it wherever I want to use it. And then even in the vehicle, even when I get the tracker back, I need to make sure that the mechanisms for sliding my seats back and forth work well, because when I get those mechanisms working a little better than they already do, because they were a little stiff as I remember, and depending on what I store behind the seat, or whether I have to install a rear seat again, which is still in question because of my son coming, and that's a whole thing. So, but anyways, all of those things, then I could still use this in the tracker when I'm traveling, because I could sit with it. I could push the seat back and sit right there to use it. So anyways, and that's a way for me to save some money. It's a way for me to save money and stuff like that, right? I hear you saying a hanging hope chest kind of thing. Jer, I'm not quite sure what you mean by, but my point for, oh, good Lord, hang on a second. What's going on? Oh, hang on a second, guys. Hello? Um, well, I can't talk right now. I'm actually in the middle of doing my live. I'm almost finished. So can I call you back when I'm done? No, go ahead, real quick. The guy that was giving me a hard time and why I had to fix the road and stuff, yes. Yes, not Brent. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, what I told her this morning was that Skipper Doodle died. No, he used to own about 12 miles away. Okay? Oh, okay. I will call you after I finish, and we'll and I'll tell you the whole story. Okay? All right. Love you. Bye. All right. You all got to hear me. My my son got an incomplete message about um, my son got an incomplete message about Skipperdoodle, and he was confused about who Skipperdoodle was. And so I will call him back and get him straight, but he knows it wasn't what he thought. So, okay. Uh, oh, okay. So Jeremy did. Okay. Okay. So Jer's still here. Okay. Did I miss any? Okay, Mary, have a good week. I'm not going to stay on too much longer, guys. What was I filling you in on when the phone? I forgot what I was saying when the phone rang. But since it was my son, I felt like I had to answer it. Um, okay, I don't see. What was the last question back there? Did I answer that one? Have you thought of taking apart an old? Oh, yeah. I answered that one. Okay, so I don't know where we are anymore. But, yeah, so I'm going to modify this little desk setup because it already works for me. And so I'm just going to modify it so it has D rings to hang it from. And then I can use it standing at either one of those windows as a stand-up desk. Because what I'm doing right now is it's sitting on top of a stool and I have to sit down to use it. And I want to stand up. So everything I'm doing right now in this cabin is you got to sit down to do it because it's all on the floor or, and it's really annoying sometimes. So in fact, this morning I'm juggling my plate to eat my little piece of steak. And I was like, man, I can't wait to get that stone floor fixed and put a table and a chair out there so I could sit at a table to eat. This is, it's been years of this. And it's not like it's impossible, but it's like, okay, I was just tired of this right now. So that's what I'm going to do with the desk situation. And I decided that in the corner over here by that window where the books are, I'm going to put two little small white shelves over there. And I can't remember if I ordered those. I found them for like $9 for a set of two. I wanted metal, but I think I couldn't find the size I needed in metal. And if I had bought the metal ones, they would have been almost an inch too big, which would have been weird. And so I think I just ordered plastic ones for like $9. I think I ordered them. I can't remember. But anyway, I need to check that. But then my little collection of seashells and a couple of plants could go on there. And then moving right along, right? Because like I want to clean the windowsills off. The windowsills being cluttered with stuff is starting to get to me. I just don't want it like that. And I'm very much aware that there are times of the day when if I had a different curtain rod, I would close curtains for the sunshine. And these curtains in the cabin were all made out of I think they're 4 foot by 16 foot cheapest drop cloths from Harbor Freight. And they were on sale for people who have accounts with them for like $4.99. Every once in a while, they're like $5 for those. And so I'll grab that fabric again because I like the way it looks. And I already own a whole bunch of black metal curtain. So the curtain rod goes in the hole on these things and they have a clip on them, curtain clips. And so, oh, cool. And so if I redid the curtain rods on the big window wall, then I could close these when the sun is right in your face, and that would be nice. So probably that would be a good winter project when the weather's bad. I don't know what else to tell you right now. That's kind of what's going on. So I guess I've decided I'm going to have to make my new set of underwear so it can be cheaper. I have some good wood that would make shelves, but I can't figure out how I want to put them on the wall. And I don't think I want another, well, they could be put on with like a cleat or something, but just, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. But, so that's all I got right now, guys. That's good, right? We got to our 2-hour mark. For some reason, this feels like a 2-hour visit with friends. So, I don't know what I'm doing about the website. My SimplyLesa.com website needs to be renewed. I think they want $40. I don't know if I can afford it. So I haven't done it yet. And the thing is that the person who helped me get that did it because they thought it would be a lot cheaper for me. But I don't know how to work on that website all by myself because it's different from what I was used to. And I don't know what they did to it. So I think I need to check that. And I don't know how. Sometimes I just want to like only do what we're doing and maybe a few other videos and just, in fact, I'm really seriously thinking about like stopping using Facebook again because I think I was figuring it out that I can still use Facebook Messenger without having Facebook. And the only reason that I would keep that is because of the neighborhood around here. There's a lot of people who use Facebook Messenger and they don't use any other anything. And I'm like, y'all need to get with the times and, you know, here's my phone number. But I gotta stay in touch with a few people. So I don't know, there's stuff to think about. Let's see, I bought, going to Dollar General the other day and they have the end of season sale, not in St. John's, but the one in Sanders. They had, I love the colors in these pillows, okay? So the back of this pillow, this is one of my favorite colors, the back of the pillow. But all the colors on the front are good colors. So these pillows were so freaking cheap the other day. $3 a piece with a buy one, get one. So I bought 5. Why did I buy 5 pillows? Because 5 fit all the way across the current bed, which is not the one I want in here permanently, but for now, and it makes it look like a couch. So whether I put them this way or I put them this way, and then I thought about it, I've always had this thing for, you kind of have a summer look, and then you put a slip cover over it for the winter, and the slip cover ought to be a different color, ought to be a winter thing. Well, for me, winter color is black and white buffalo plaid. So, you know, I'm going to be watching for black and white buffalo plaid sheet sets that I can make slip covers out of. So that then in the winter, they get to be black and red. And in the summer, they get to be this, which I think would be cool. And because why not? When they were that cheap. So I did that anyways. That's the thing. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So you guys use the Messenger, but not Facebook. Okay. And back when I got back on, after I got off during COVID because I had some pretty ugly interactions with family members. So when I got back on, I only did it for my neighbors in this area because I couldn't figure out how to do Messenger without Facebook. And then I found out that it's possible that you can do that. So that's the thing. So I'm really thinking about doing that. I just don't want all that noise in my head. I think it's a thing. I think it's an okay thing to do because, you know, we be careful of what food we put on our bodies, in our bodies. We be careful what clothes we wear. We be careful what environments we stick ourselves into, right? And then, you know, because we're trying to be careful what water we drink, what air we breathe. And then why not be careful what we stick in our minds, right? And I know I've put a lot of this North Carolina stuff, Tennessee stuff in my mind, but it was because I walked through there. Those hundreds of miles I walked was through there. And I actually, you know, part of my coming off the trail was they sent me back to Asheville to the hospital. And when I see that there's all the looting and stuff going on in Asheville that they don't want people showing, I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I know what it was like when I was there. And the thing with the places like that is once the artsy folks go in and start making it all pretty and high end and, oh yeah, I'm making this special coffee, so I'm going to open a restaurant. And oh, I'm making this special whatever. And then it's them and their, I don't mean this to be mean, okay? But it's them and their attitudes that turn this into a we're better than you because we're the special people that get to do this stuff that is not survival. And y'all over there that are busking in the park with your guitar and the case is open and your donations are how you eat, you people are low class and we don't want to see you. And so there's this big separation in places like that between the people who grew up there and whatever, and the people who moved in to try to make this a high-end place. So it's a whole weirdness thing. And, you know, I hate to see those things happening. And these people that, you know, grew up in the holla and, you know, lived on the side of the hill and the house got washed away. And what was the story I heard when I was awake in the middle of the night? I heard the story of these three houses that were made out of cement blocks. And they were near the river, but they were like across the street and 100 or 200 yards away from the river. Like the river was on the other side of the road from them. Okay? And then the river was on their front porch. And then a piece of the bridge that was close by clipped the corner of one of the cement block houses. And that house floated into the second one. The second one just sunk quick and then destroyed the third one. Well, the lady across from them that could see that happening and was telling the story, she said, I saw the man that lives in that house. I saw his dog didn't jump, and he did. And he jumped out the back, but he must have put a jacket on because they couldn't see the t-shirt he was wearing afterwards. But I saw the thing running up the hill. He's been up there 4 days now. We know he's okay because we heard him answer us back one time. And I'm like, yeah, wow. But they're probably the folks who've been living there their whole lives, right? And they know they're a little hollow. And they know if I run up the hill, it's higher ground. And, you know, I know how to survive. I'll be all right. But, you know, it won't be long because it's supposed to be 40 degrees tonight, according to some of those people. It won't be long. In another week, there's going to be a whole lot of those people hunting for a warmer place because they don't have a house anymore. And yeah, anyway, so pray for them, pray for all our friends, pray for each other, please. Please, you know, even so Skipper Doodle had married a Maria in Philippines. Pray for her too, because I'm sure she's saddened to not have her husband. And I'm sure they had planned a whole life. Well, he had told me like 3 weeks ago, he had told me that he was becoming a pig farmer in the Philippines, and he was very happy. And so I'm saying these people had included him in their lives, so pray for them. Pray for each other. Let's pray for Stan and the mechanics, and that the stuff coming together on my trackers goes together smooth. For a little bit of insight for myself, okay? So that I can see how to proceed in order to be able to pay Stan and the mechanics the best way possible. I know there are those of you like G who would like to see me keep 2 vehicles. I can't see how that's possible. I don't know the answers right now, but let's see how this is going to pan out. And I need guidance from something bigger than me. But, oh, before you can put the motor on the bench, you got to move the boat stuff. Okay, well, finish up your boat stuff and get it out the way. Okay. But pray for the guys, and I'm sure Jeremy's going to have a lot to do with my tracker. Oh, and by the way, I know I got to prioritize to a certain degree, but while we're working on my tracker, I want to take the old decals off and change the decal stuff. And I don't know yet, but you know that there's some delaminization happening with the solar panel on the hood. And I could take it off or I could leave it. And I got a new set. And so there's some things to figure out with that. But the big thing I really want to add to the tracker is I really want to put, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it negative offset wheels? So I'm going to use the same tires as long as they're still good. I think they are. They were fairly new tires. I paid $800 for those tires. They ought to be good. But I want to, so I'll have the same size rims, but rather than be in aluminum, they'll be steel. I think we're going to get them from Rock Auto, and they'll be offset, so they're wider than what I've got now, a little bit wider. So that's an extra $600 plus switching tires over. So that's a little thing, but I really want to do those things. Anyways, there's more to come and stuff to do. And then, yeah, I know. I'm very much aware. It's all about the engine first anyways. And we didn't actually take the full engine out of the tracker yet. So there's still some parts sitting in the engine compartment. And then there's the boxes of the 2 engines inside. And then Stan has a 3rd engine in a parts car. So I know there's a lot to do. We're not at this stage yet. But I'm just saying it's starting to happen. And so, of course, I'm going to be starting to think about, okay, how do I make sure this is all going to... But, somebody else is in control of all this. So let's just pray about it, see what happens, see how we maneuver. Boy, that radio's making sounds, but I can't hear anything. What? Is somebody actually talking or nah? It's just static right now. But anyway, so I love y'all. Have a good week. Next week, as far as I know, same bat time, same bat channel. Love y'all. Hang in there. Jer, I don't know if I'm coming to town this week. I do need to come check mail. I would you know what? When it's time for groceries again, I want the good cream from American Arrow. So I'm probably coming down this week at some point. So love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Hang in there. I don't know what I forgot today. If I forgot something, we'll get it next time. So, ciao.